So I saw this video today from Jedediah. Um, she's recently kind of come on the scene under the branding of valuetainment, and I just wanted to sort of comment on her take on this in this video. We're not going to do the whole thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video, and then I'll come in sort of partway through and we'll talk about it.
Let's go to 331.30. And then we're going to go to 333.14. You see those, Malik?
Yep.
Okay.
At Andrew about this the other day. Listen, I think that teaching women self-defense should be punishable by crime. I do, and I'll tell you why.
This is gonna be a good topic. We talk about
I'll tell you why.
Oh shit!
I'll tell you why it should be punishable. Because you're telling a woman that she is going to be able to punch her way out of a physical altercation with a man. And it's absolutely not true. It doesn't make women less. But outside of handing her pepper spray or a shotgun in a house, and I purposely say shotgun because we know the statistics on gunfights at close range. There's a lot of the spray is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Telling a woman that she is going to learn how to kick and punch. A man can literally eat these punches. Like, you are not going to stand up and trade blows with a grown-ass man as a woman. Yeah. I think it's absolutely...
Okay, so that's Justin. We had Justin here. He's right. He is right. He's right. And he's right about the shotgun, too, by the way, which tells me he knows about guns, which is good. He's right. You're not going to be able to just... You're not going to be able to do it. Men will eat those punches. And I remember having this conversation with my husband and him being like, I can't think of a woman that would be able to punch me hard enough where it would, I don't really think they could punch me hard enough. And he's, built, and he's right. He's right. So if you're out there and you're triggered by this stuff, ask yourself why. These guys are trying to protect women. I know if you're a woman out there, you're a modern woman and you're trained to be triggered by this because it bothers you. Maybe it bothers you that you're weaker physically than the modern feminist movement told you were, and you have to now absorb that reality. Maybe you're mentally adjusting to that. I get it. But you realize that they're actually trying to protect you because they don't want you having a false sense of your own strength and putting yourself in a dangerous situation. And then what? They are trying to protect you. The people who are giving you that messaging, telling you take your self-defense and you can use some guy's weight against him and all this stuff. First of all, you realize those people who teach those classes make money off of you. So I heard that from a lot of people. Jiu-jitsu, get down on the ground. Get down on the ground with a big ass man? Honey, I'm going to be squashed. And I'm going to be crying. Oh, my pinky. Oh, that's going to happen too. Come on. You know it. It's not good advice, but they make money. Women sign up for those classes. It's a business. Remember that at the end of the day. But they should be honest with. And I had a lot of instructors that weren't honest. So these guys are being honest. Let's listen to Myron now as well. They're talking about me. It was my commentary. They were right. I'm wrong. I was wrong. Let's go to 333.
About this the other day. Female self-defense is probably one of the biggest lies we tell women.
It's dangerous.
It's one of the, it literally, and there was this chick that I won't even mention her name, but she was going on a fucking tirade trying to criticize Andrew for saying that Krav Maga and all these other things are stupid for women to learn in jiu-jitsu. It is fucking stupid because jiu-jitsu is one of the worst things. As a woman, you do not want to fucking get in a close quarters combat situation with a fucking man. You need space. Right? If you're even going to be, even if you're going to get into
have a shot to catch him,
you need space. Because, and I tell women this all the time on the podcast. They try to come on and say, I can fight a man. I have to bring them back to reality. A high school boy will absolutely destroy you. A 15-year-old boy will beat the fuck out of you as a trained woman that goes to the gym. You might even have some combat skills. He is going to fuck you up just off of strength alone because you're.
And he's right. He's right. Even if you have some, and I do have some skills. First of all, I've worked out my whole life, and not because of any other reason other than that I really prioritize health and wellness, and that's something that's near and dear to my heart. You know that. So I have worked out my whole life. I take care of myself. I do have some skills, in terms of knowing how to punch a box. I've taken the classes, but he's right. Because I don't have the power that, my son, this is crazy. My son is 3 years old. He's a baby. I cannot believe how strong this kid is. I honestly cannot believe believe. And I know, what high school boys, I mean, they have so much power that we don't have physically. And it's crazy in this world where we're now trained from such a young age as women that you have to compete with men. You have to compete with men. It's like you can't do anything but be triggered by a man saying, you shouldn't be competing with us in this area. It's dangerous for you. We take offense to that somehow. That should be like, oh, this guy's looking out for me. This is realistic. Look at my size. Look at his size. Look at my power. Look at his power. He's trying to tell me you're going to get hurt. And we take offense because we've been programmed to take offense. And it's wild. It's really, really.
Okay, I'm probably just going to stop it there. I probably should have stopped it sooner. There was a lot there. She says that she's taken classes, and it sounds like boxing or something like that. And she's into fitness or whatever her entire life. And then she says things like, I guess she's making a joke. Oh, my pinky finger. Like, fine, yeah, it's not your pinky finger, but you're going to be hurt. If you're actually in a fight, like, I just feel like she's never been in a fight. Because if you're actually in a fight, I mean, a lot of things are going to hurt because you're going to be getting hit in a lot of places. There's no time to be like, oh, my pinky finger. And the person who's fighting you is not going to care. She also talks about, I mean, how she's surprised how much her baby is, how strong he is. And he's, I guess not a baby, he's a toddler, he's 3 years old. Okay, I don't think she's a very good representation of a woman who's been taking some martial art and training and like learning how to defend herself. I would not consider her, based on what she's saying here. I don't know all the history, but based on what she's saying here, I would not consider her a good representation of that. I've done 3 martial arts in my life. Well, at least 3. I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've done Hapkido, and I've done Karate. I remember, mostly in my 20s, I remember doing Karate and Jiu-Jitsu, and there was some older women in my classes. Now, they were, a few of them were black belts, a few of them were like upper echelon belts, like a purple or whatever, or a blue, like mid to high. And I as a white belt or a yellow belt or an orange belt, right, I would sometimes be training with them, or they would be teaching me things. I got my ass handed to me a lot by women who knew more than me in grappling and jiu-jitsu, who knew how to punch and block better than me, because I was still learning all these things. There is something to be said about being trained against somebody who is untrained. So even if you're, I don't know, you've taken martial art for 3 months or 6 months, you're likely going to be better off than somebody who's never done anything. And when you look at men today, the average man today, he's like, I'm talking about like the average untrained man. Generally, we're overweight. We don't really exercise. We sit at home. We're at desk jobs or whatever. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if a woman who has some level of training would be able to handle herself at least on somewhat of a level playing field. Now, sure, there's always exceptions to the rule, and there's always women who maybe are very small, and so they have they could be like 5'11", not 5'11", 5'1", and they have they're against some guy who's like 6'3", and that's not really a fair matchup, even if he's out of shape. But that's also part of martial arts. That was one of the first things I learned in karate, is that you're learning how to fight, but the idea is that you never have to use it. Is that you're learning this skill, and knowing that you can be dangerous and you can defend yourself, but that you will never actually have to use it. But you have the confidence there behind you. And so we learned a lot how to de-escalate things, how to remove ourselves from situations. Um, I just, the idea that it would be criminal to give women the skills to learn, to build that confidence and understanding as well, when I think about how it helped me in my life. I used to get beat up and teased all the time in high school and stuff. And it was during my college university years that I started getting into martial arts. And what a big confidence boost! What a big, like, I didn't get into fights anymore. No one picked on me anymore because my demeanor changed. Who I was as a person changed. It was so positive. I just think it's ridiculous. The comments that they're saying are ridiculous. Now, sure, in terms of, hey, do we want a man and or a woman fighting a man? Okay, no, I don't think we want that happening. But having the skills to defend yourself and that confidence and all the other things come with it, like, women can totally whoop a man's ass. They give the example in this video of like built men. These guys go to the gym. Like Myron, he's fit. I don't know who the other white guy was there, but he also looked very fit and muscular. And then she's saying her husband's not like some bodybuilder or something. So I'm like, you're talking about like a top percent of men who are like in that category. That's not the everyday man. So I don't know. I just found this whole idea ridiculous. And then on top of that, um, I just like, what about women on women fighting? Wouldn't you want your woman to be able to defend herself in case another woman comes after her? So I just think the whole premise of what they were saying is ridiculous. But you know, it just, I feel like with their podcasts, it kind of came off on the Fresh and Fit podcast, really, right? She was reacting to it, but she was agreeing with it. I find a lot of things they say are very outlandish, and they just like, it sounds great, and some of it there is true. I just think this is one of those cases where they're just like, because there are exceptions, and they're just looking at one thing. Well, if a man has more punching strength than a woman, or has more weight than a woman, then clearly you should not learn how to fight because you're always going to lose. But there's so many other aspects to self-defense and martial arts. So it's ridiculous. I don't agree. Um, and I think it's stupid that they would say that, frankly. Short-sighted. That's my take. All right, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know if there's something else you'd like me to review, and also comment on the video on what you think about this. I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. All right, see you later.